Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I record this on September 27th, 2024 at about 7, a little after 7 in the evening, West Coast time. On this day, on September 27th, 2018, during a day-long hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Christina Blasey Ford said she was 100% certain that she was sexually assaulted by Brett Kavanaugh when they were teenagers. Kavanaugh then told those same senators that he was 100% certain that he had done no such thing. And we know that in the end of the day, Brett Kavanaugh had his nomination for the Supreme Court go through. Not a high water mark for the U.S. It was another low water mark in a series of low water marks. And you can go back to Anita Hill back in the 1980s to 1990s, where she went through the very same thing with Clarence Thomas. And in this article I'm looking at, they refer to DARVO, the acronym DARVO, which is basically to deny, accuse, in reverse, and the victim, which is what we saw. I believe I never watched the Anita Hill thing. I was just cursory following the news, but I would believe Anita Hill back then, and that's not based on Clarence Thomas's actions now. It's based on the arguments back then were basically, well, if he was abusing you, why did you follow him from job to job? That's irrelevant. That doesn't mean things didn't happen. And with Dr. Christina Blasey Ford, yeah, absolutely believe her. That's what happened. And we got to see Kavanaugh's, his rage and his behavior just out there for everybody to see. And yeah, then there's, debts of his just going away. Yeah, no corruption going around here. So I want to look at 6 years since that time. I want to look at the energy around Dr. Ford and Brett Kavanaugh, and then let's see what's happening in the future for both of them, okay? This might be a little bit longer reading because there'll be 4 different questions being asked. So let's just jump right into it. This is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, let's look at the positives. For Dr. Christina Blasey Ford, what is the energy around her with this event, as we have now put 6 years between the testimony and today's date? Page of Swords. She was talking about a young girl and the things that she was learning, and in some ways after her testimony there was a lot more learning to do, almost a naivety, and I think she went in understanding that there would be problems, but the naivety might just more be she had no idea the scope of what she was going to face. And I don't mean from the letters of support that she got, I mean from the folks giving her threats. But let's see what this Page of Swords is crossed with. The Death card and the Two of Cups. Wow. Naivety again. Gone is the age of innocence, right? She went in there, she testified truthfully, and her life as she knew it became an end. Why was she doing it? She was trying to help. She was trying to say that this guy's character is in question. Now, an article I was reading on her, she was basically saying she can totally understand why he may not fully remember it, but she felt like, under the haze of alcohol, he would still remember and knew what he had done and knew what he had done was wrong. She wasn't trying to say he should be disqualified from being a Supreme Court justice because he was a reckless teenager. What she wanted was for him to at least acknowledge that it was a possibility. He may not remember it, but yeah, that's a possibility, and if I did do that, I'm sorry. That's what she was looking for out of this, and that's exactly what she didn't get. What she got was a full-throated denial, which she knows can't be true, and she knows he knows it can't be true, and for everybody watching this video, pretty much we all know that he knows it's not true. And we know it's not true. But here we go. So, bringing things to an end. In the past, you get the judgment card. She went before the Supreme Court, the Senate, the Judiciary Committee. She told them what she needed to know. She was doing it with the best interest of the American people. She wasn't trying to ruin this guy's career. She just felt like that things needed to be vetted that weren't out there. She revealed everything about this guy. She was telling the truth. She was absolutely telling the truth. Look at all these major arcana. This is a huge moment in her life. Her huge karmic moment in her life. The overarching energy is the victory card. She was victorious in doing what she set out to do, which was inform the American people so they can make an informed decision. The fact that she got railroaded was, low energy GOP Brett Kavanaugh BS. But she did what she needed to do. I would be surprised if I don't get the integrity card in here at some point. But let's see. The lesson to be learned is the burden, the Ten of Wands. She did what she needed to do. She had carried this burden from childhood or young adulthood. No, she was a child at that point. She was under 18. To this day. And again, this whole burden, the relieving of this burden wasn't to slam Kavanaugh. It was just to say, hey, by the way, this guy that you want to be a Supreme Court justice has kind of a checkered past. You might want to look into it. And he might want to own it and show some integrity. That's not what we got. And then her life became difficult after that because of the ugliness that followed from a small group of people. The outcome is the Ace of Cups. I don't think it's her not controlling her emotions. She actually seemed to be pretty good at controlling her emotions. I'm struck by this memory. Many of you may not remember it, but I did because I have some background and familiarity with this. When she was starting to get upset and her lips would quiver a little bit, she was getting emotional. It was coming up, and you could see her trying to fight it. But then, to help her, somebody would ask a very scientific question, and then she would go from the right side of the brain to the left side of the brain, and like that, the emotions could calm down, and she could get into the logic aspect of her brain and be able to start talking like a scientist. And it was a great way for her to take that fear and that anxiety that she was feeling, the trauma that she was reliving, and pushing it back down, because the left side of her brain is strong, it's trained, and she can get in there and the walls go up, and it protects her from this emotional damage here. But there was definitely strong emotions on her part. She was emotionally vulnerable for everyone to see. This was not the type of person that was making stuff up. Just absolutely not happening here. So outcome, emotionally traumatic, but you grow from trauma. And I think she's done some growing from that. What's next for her? What's coming up in the future for Dr. Christina Blasey Ford? She's gone through this life lesson. I think, I'd like to say I think she did well with it. And, sorry for the trauma that she had to go through as a youth and then had to relive as an adult woman. But what's next for her? It was funny. There's a play going on in D.C. About I think it's called Ford Hill, and it's like a speaking play taking lines of testimony out of Dr. Ford's and Anita Hill's testimonies, and just comparing them side by side. I imagine that there's a lot of correlation between the two women, what they went through and what they said, how they reported it. And Ms. Ford also put out a memoir several months ago, about 6 months ago. She had a memoir come out, sort of recounting what she went through, and I made probably what she learned from it. But what's next for Ms. Ford? For Dr. Ford, excuse me. Call her title. She didn't go to grad school to be called Ms. Thank you very much. What's up next for Dr. Ford? Speaking of victory, there's a victory here. There's success, having success, and choices. Maybe she's coming up on a career after a successful career. She's got some career choices here involving work, maybe values, maybe money. Maybe there's another book deal, a movie, some Broadway, a DC play. Could be a Broadway play. Let's see what we got going on. In the past, you got the Nine of Wands here. It took, again, reading this article on her, it took about 4 years for her life to start getting a semblance of normality to it. Randy, we're only 6 years down, so it's only been the last couple of years that she's had a normal life, and probably COVID had something to do with it, forcing everybody to stay home and deal with something else so they could stop being so angry at her for something that doesn't impact them. Current situation is the Magician. She's working on something. She's working on a project. It could be, retiring from teaching and going on to something else, but she is, or changing focus of her teaching or something like that. But it's something that's been in the works. She's been waiting for it. And it probably, given the injury on this person, it could very well be, you've got the blindfold and the bandage. It could very well be something dealing with the thing that's made her famous. Famous, which is Brett Kavanaugh. But there's something she's working on here. Overarching energy is the Strength card. It plays to her strengths, and it's probably done to help other people. She's had a book come out. There could be another book that's coming out. That would be an example of it. Or seminars on it, or something like that. Good Lord, look at this. Look at these 3 major arcana over the top. The lesson to be learned is she's taking full advantage of this this tumultuous time to grow something positive out of it and help people along. Outcome is the Queen of Swords. I don't think this is a... again, this could be talking about her life has been difficult. In some ways, going through her up a little bit. It's funny, I should say that, because when I was doing a little bit of extra research, Brett Kavanaugh just had a quote saying, "You can't be thin-skinned in the job that I'm in. You lose friends too quickly." Oh, so Brett Kavanaugh is thick-skinned? Well, yeah, maybe relative to Trump, he's thick-skinned. I still like beer. Out there crying and sobbing. You act like you had some sugar up your nose. If y'all remember that. It's like, why do you keep stiffing like that? Why are you acting so emotionally? Yeah. Whatever. And women are the emotional ones, right? Whatever it is, it's going to be very black and white, cut and dry, and maybe not holding punches a little bit. Again, it could be very analytical, whatever it is. This is a very analytical card. This is not the card of the warm, fuzzy feelings type thing. This is a, hey, kind of this is what happened. Now, again, she just put out a memoir, and you'd think something like that would be in there. It could be something like, I had an idea that came in my head. And I used to be teased that sometimes ideas going into my head go to a very lonely place. But that is not the case. Let's just ask if Ms. Dr. Blasey Ford is going to be testifying again under oath about what happened with Brett Kavanaugh. The Star card. The Victory card. Almost like there's a Brett Kavanaugh hearing and a do-over, and you want to bring the witness back for further questioning. wonder if she would do it. Maybe that's what the Two of Swords is. Do I want to go through this again? Tried to help people last time. Look what it got me. And maybe that Queen of Swords is, no, I've given my sacrifices on this. You can go pound sand. You go sort it out yourself. A bunch of people gave you evidence that the White House lawyers buried for Trump. You go deal with it. That could be it. Or she could say, you know what? No, I'm doing it again. Because I spoke the truth the first time. I will speak the truth the second time. And you will hear me. Either one of those. That's a free will choice. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if I'm actually right on that one. Will she, for Carter, will she be asked to testify again against Brett Kavanaugh? 4 Swords. Lying low. Thinking about it. Contemplation. Meditation. Queen of Cups, keeping your emotions in check. Knight of Pentacles, bringing forward evidence, bringing forward values. Knight of Cups, bringing forward your emotions. There's the integrity card. Told you it was going to be in here. I just thought it was going to be in the previous reading. She's thinking about it because she is a woman of strong integrity. That strong integrity is balanced by the good and the bad. And she suffered through the good and the bad on this one. But here's the thing. When you have high integrity, you have high integrity. And she has to think, do I want to go through this again? I brought forward evidence. Can I do it again? Am I emotionally ready for this? How is this going to turn out? I will tell you this. It's easier the second time around with just about anything. Because you go in knowing what to expect. So I think that's what that Two of Swords is. That's what this 4 Swords is. I think she's going to be asked to testify against Brett Kavanaugh again. And right now, in this current energy, she's thinking about it. She's balancing her integrity. She's wondering if this is what she wants to do. Can she emotionally handle it? With that Knight of Cups, I'm leaning towards yes because of that 9 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. And we're talking about the strength card on that last one. It would take a lot of strength to do it again. Because you know what you've been through. And it was a hard thing to go through. But that Queen of Swords is like, F it. The word F it's going to be for somebody, whether it's to the Justice Department, the Senate, or to like Brett Kavanaugh. Somebody's going to get the word FU. Words, FU. Okay. That's Dr. Ford. Brett Kavanaugh. Should get my Italian deck out for him. Brett Kavanaugh, what's he going through right now? Come on down. Post Senate hearing, and 6 years later, he's a pretty princess. Empress, he made, things are going okay for him. He's on the Supreme Court, making his decisions. Life is looking rosy. But, there's different things coming on here. There's some things coming down the pike that he needs to be prepared for. Underneath it all is the Devil card. Yeah, about that. About things you did in your youth. About the denial of those things as an adult. About the bills that got paid. How you're living a really nice lifestyle. How did that happen? You never have answered for that. In the past, the 7 of Swords, lying, cheating, stealing, getting away with it. Current situation is the heartbreak and the betrayal. You want to look for some really lousy cards? There's 3 of them right there. So the Empress, with this kind of energy around it, the Empress isn't about, life's good and I've got all my needs met. This is about laziness, entitlement. This is a Karen. He's being a male Karen. He's sitting where he does not belong. He is not entitled to the seat that he's sitting in. And there's action afoot to expose that. Why do I say that? It's because he got there by lying and cheating and stealing. He got there by denying the abject truth by, assaulting a girl when he was young and then denying it. He's not living in light. He's living in falsehoods. And it's the karmic train will come back around. I know Linda G has been seeing for years that somebody's going to tap him on the shoulder and say, not you, not anymore. The overarching energy is the Seven of Cups, the integrity card or lack thereof. It could very well be that Dr. Ford is coming back with her integrity after he's lied, cheated, and stole, and did all that stuff. Ooh, lesson to be learned. Now, Dr. Ford did have kids, so she's not exactly a childless cat lady. But the childless cat lady also had questions for Brett Kavanaugh that he did a really lousy job of answering. You might remember them. Mr. Kavanaugh, are there any laws that you know of that tell a man what they can do with and can't do with their body? Brett Kavanaugh's life, when Kamala Harris becomes president, is about to get very uncomfortable. The outcome is the Four of Wands. In his original trial, he doesn't deserve to be there. Actions weren't taken. He lied, cheated, stole, denied. He lacked integrity, refused to own his bad behavior. Even though a woman stood up for him, he got put in there, but under the wrong circumstances. How is this going to come back? He doesn't belong there because of these actions. I think a woman of integrity is going to come back, and that's going to start leading to investigations that would lead to his ouster. As the universe course corrects and undoes what was unjustly done. Got these cards. You can see I actually do shuffle. Or I make shuffling noises anyways. That way if cards come up a second time, it's because they're supposed to. Not because I jammed them all together, did some lousy shuffling, and they come back out again. All right. Just like Dr. Ford. Mr. Kavanaugh, what's coming up for you? What's one of the next things that you're going to be dealing with here? What are some of the things that Brett Kavanaugh is going to be dealing with? Okay, let's see what Mr. Kavanaugh's got going on here. Oh, well, Dr. Ford had a burdensome thing to do. Looks like the shoe's going to be on the other foot. Somebody's got a heavy burden to be dealing with here. They might have to explain the money. Money and ethics. Somebody might have to explain the money. There's going to be another look at what's going on here. Remember, the Supreme Court right now has had a problem with justices being bought out. Clarence Thomas with Harlan Crow. Justice Alito has also been implicated on some things. Brett Kavanaugh allegedly had a bunch of debts paid off that just magically got paid off. Might have a hard time explaining that. Just saying. And especially when Kamala Harris comes into office, I think there's going to be a lot of extra scrutiny on our Supreme Court justices. They're going to be taking new, fresh looks at things. In the past, we got the Queen of Pentacles. This is finding practicality and practical use of things, or impracticality if it's a low energy here. He had this job drop on his lap. He didn't deserve it. The Senate committee should have disqualified him, but he had this dropped on his lap, and he's been sitting pretty, trying to keep a low profile on ruling on things. He was on the wrong side of Roe v. Wade for sure. But, he had a nice little payday. current situation, the Five of Coins, that payday, about that payday, where did that money come from? How did you get it? How did you go from being poor and out in the cold to getting inside there? There's an investigation on money with him. There's absolutely going to be an investigation dealing with his finances. Overarching energy is the Three of Cups. I do think that when Kamala Harris is in there, that, the rise of women, Anita Hill, Dr. Blasey Ford, Kamala Harris, the rise of women, the age of Aquarius is coming in, and this old patriarchy BS is going to be addressed. And he's going to be one of the high-profile ones to be addressed with. The lesson to be learned is the Eight of Swords. He's not going to be able to get away from this. He's left victims in his wake. There might be more women that come out. But he's stuck. He's trapped. Because there's going to be a financial trail that goes on with this. The outcome is the Five of Swords. He'll fight it. He will fight it just like he fought it the first time. I'm curious, though, if this Five of Swords also means that with a less sympathetic Senate, things might come out that will be disqualifying for him. For now, he's staying. But he may not be staying for long. I don't think he's going to die, be in office, be a Supreme Court justice for the next 30 years type of thing, or 20 years. I would suspect within the next 4 years, he's not going to be a Supreme Court justice, because I suspect Kamala Harris will make it a mission of hers. Amongst the many missions that we're going to deal with Brett Kavanaugh and corrupt Supreme Court justices like Thomas, and Alito. 4 cards. Will Brett Kavanaugh, I'm thinking that Five of Swords here, will Brett Kavanaugh, I don't know if I want to ask if he'll be removed. I think it's censure him too. But will he be brought? Will a vote be brought to impeach him? Will he be given a choice to step down or be impeached? How about that? Basically, that would indicate there was like a trial, evidence presented. It's damning. You can resign or you can be impeached. Whether or not the impeachment would go through, we don't know. But those are your choices. 4-carder. 2 of Wands. I guess that was that 2 of Wands that was crossing with him. Huge burden. Judgment. 3 of Wands, getting ready to leave. From the strange actions of your youth. I'm seeing, now here's what's kind of leaping out to me. 10 and 3. We are 6 years downstream from Ms. Ford's, Dr. Ford's testimony. Add 3 to that, and you would be at 9 years. 10, you got a 10, which is a burden. A bunch of 10s came up there. I think 9 to 10 years after he has been put into that office. So I would guess between 2027 and 2028, Brett Kavanaugh will probably face judgment for his actions of his youth that he did not own when he had the opportunity to, when he was applying for the highest court in the land. So it's 2024 now. That would be another 4 to 5 years. Sorry, it's not sooner. But that's one interpretation of it. It could be faster. I could be wrong. I mean, the 3 of Wands could be getting ready to leave. The 10 of Wands is good luck defending yourself. The Judgment card is, yeah, it's coming for you. The Two of Wands is, yeah, it's coming for you. I was just taking a look. And mind you, there's a bunch of 10s in there too. And funny, interestingly enough, none of the Ten of Swords, which would be the ending card. But I do think that this will be an ending for him. He will be removed from the Supreme Court. Timing may be difficult. It could be as long as 4 to 5 years from now. Or, let's see, 5 years? No. It could be, yeah, it could happen in 2020. It could happen in the third or fourth year of Kamala Harris's presidency. It could happen faster than that. It just, it kind of depends. I'm taking a shot with the timing. I'm okay if it's sooner. I'm okay if it's yesterday. And they just haven't told us yet. But I don't think it is. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I hope this reading was insightful to you. It is for entertainment purposes only. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.